Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the science community lately, and trust me, it's not your average volcano watched story. We're talking about Mount Pelée, a Caribbean volcano with a history so deadly, it makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about natural disasters. Here's the kicker. Recent seismic activity has scientists on edge, and for good reason. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me hit you with this. Mount Pelée isn't just any volcano. Back in 1902, it erupted and wiped out nearly 30,000 people in a single afternoon. Let that sink in. That's not just a number. It's the third deadliest volcanic eruption of the 20th century. And now, over a century later, it's showing signs of life again. What makes this really interesting is that this isn't just a it might erupt scenario. If Mount Pelée were to blow today, we're talking about 400,000 people at risk, not to mention the potential for ashfall to disrupt electricity and ground flights. That's a whole new level of chaos. Now, let's break this down. The Martinique Volcanological and Seismological Observatory has been tracking some alarming trends. In just 1 week, they detected 124 earthquakes, nearly triple the number from the week before. And for context, the entire month saw 331 volcanic earthquakes. That's roughly 85 per week. Personally, I think what's most fascinating here is the pattern. This isn't the first time Mount Pelée has acted up recently. Back in 2019, the number of earthquakes jumped dramatically above the baseline. So, this isn't just a random spike, it's part of a larger trend. But here's where it gets tricky. These earthquakes aren't your typical shake-the-ground kind. They're volcanic earthquakes, caused by rock masses fracturing beneath the volcano due to things like rising magma or hydrothermal fluids. The fact that they're happening at all is a red flag, even if they're too small for people to feel. What many people don't realize is that volcanic activity isn't just about earthquakes. There's also ground movement. Since May, scientists have recorded several inches of ground movement per month at Mount Pelée's summit. Experts attribute this to a deformation about 0.6 miles below the summit, causing it to inflate from within. Now, here's the silver lining. The rate of inflation has slowed slightly over the past 4 weeks, which could mean the pressure is easing. But, and this is a big but, experts are quick to remind us that this doesn't mean we're out of the woods. The Martinique Observatory has raised the alert level to yellow, which basically means keep your eyes open. From my perspective, what this really suggests is that we're dealing with a volcano that's waking up after decades of dormancy. The probability of an eruption in the short term is low, but in the medium term, weeks to months, it's a different story. And that's what's so unsettling. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about Mount Pelée. It's part of a bigger trend of volcanic activity we've been seeing globally. From Iceland to the Pacific Ring of Fire, volcanoes are reminding us that they're still very much alive. This raises a deeper question. Are we prepared for what happens when these sleeping giants wake up? One thing that immediately stands out is how much has changed since 1902. Back then, St. Pierre was a bustling hub with no warning system in place. Today, we have advanced monitoring technology, evacuation plans, and global communication networks. But here's the catch. With 400,000 people now living on Martinique, an eruption would be a logistical nightmare. In my opinion, this isn't just a scientific issue, it's a societal one. How do we balance the risks of living near these powerful forces of nature with the benefits of fertile soil and tourism? A detail I find fascinating is the ground inflation. It's like the volcano is taking a deep breath, and we're all holding ours. What this really suggests is that there's a lot going on beneath the surface that we can't see. It's a reminder of how little we actually know about what's happening deep within the earth. And that's both terrifying and awe-inspiring. So, where does this leave us? Personally, I think the key takeaway here is vigilance. We can't predict exactly what Mount Pelée will do, but we can prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. This situation also highlights the importance of investing in volcano monitoring and research. After all, volcanoes aren't going anywhere. They've been here long before us and will be here long after. As we wrap this up, I'll leave you with this thought. What does it mean for us as a species when we're constantly living in the shadow of these natural forces? Are we just spectators, or do we have a role to play in mitigating the risks? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and maybe keep an eye on the volcano updates.